Millions of years ago, the continents of North America and Africa collided together, causing the Earth's crust to buckle, fold, and thrust upwards, creating the rugged Appalachian Mountains that we see today. The Appalachian Mountains are one of the oldest mountain ranges in the world. Although not as dramatic as the Rockies or the Cascades, these once towering peaks have been weathered by wind, water, and ice for almost 500 million years, giving them their worn, rounded appearance. With a rich history of folklore and being one of the oldest ranges in the world, I'm sure these mountains can really tell a story. It's no wonder that a lot of the eerie or supernatural stories you hear about today have originated from these isolated mountains. We are in Shenandoah National Park, and today's an exciting day because we get to not only step foot on the Appalachian Trail, but we are going to spend a night out in the backcountry camping on the trail as well. So this is a bucket lister for sure, just to be on the trail, and we're looking forward to it. We're going to get the backpacking gear all dusted off and get out there. Ready to go hiking, buddy?
Ready?
Someone's pretty excited to be out in the snow. It's been a few months since the heavy packs have been on, but it feels good. It's always a shock to the system when you throw it up there for the first time in a while. Should be just fine though, only got a couple miles. Then we'll set up camp. There's a lot of speculation that the Appalachian Mountains are haunted. As if hiking up in the mountains during winter isn't exhilarating enough, why not do it in a place where supernatural creatures such as the Wampus Cat, the Blair Witch, or the Mothman live? Could these entities actually be real? Or are these stories simply just the result of one giant game of broken telephone over the last several hundred years? Although we love a good story, sadly many people have actually passed away while hiking the trail. It's hard to say if anything supernatural may have caused these tragedies, or could it simply just be chalked up to human error? In the spring and summer months, these woods get incredibly thick, making it easy for someone to disappear, even just a few feet off the trail. Well, we made it to the lookout and worked up quite a sweat while we did it, so we're going to take advantage of this little bit of sun we have left before it goes down and dry out some clothes. Otherwise, we're going to be pretty cold tonight. Well, we're in a little bit of a predicament here because we did pass a sign that said after 3,500 feet, you're not allowed to actually set up a tent. So we weren't aware of that fact. So we're going to either head back down towards the way we came up. However, we didn't find any suitable spots. Like we didn't see anything that we're like, that might be a good spot to set up a tent. So if we keep following the trail, there is a shelter another mile away. So whatever we find along that stretch, we'll set up the tent there, or if we make it to the shelter, we'll just set up there. But yeah, unfortunately, we can't really set up at the summit here. You can feel the wind blowing in right now as it is, and it'll just be super cold and miserable all night if we're up here exposed in the wind. Sun is going down pretty quick. We only got about an hour before it goes down for good. So that kind of threw a wrench in our plans a little bit. We were just going to camp up at the top there, but probably for the best because even just hanging up there for 20 minutes and that wind was just cutting right through us. So we're going to go up the trail a little bit further and set up shop wherever we find something suitable. The whole path right now is essentially just a giant sheet of ice. So you kind of just stare at your feet the whole time. poke your eye out. Yeah, this is nice and clear here.
Oh, this is perfect.
Yeah, I'll just pat this down. Yeah.
Come on, Diesel. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Good boy. Come on.
Yeah, I didn't like the idea of being without shelter as it's getting dark, so we just went up the trail a little bit. I didn't really want to try and push for the shelter. It's still another 2 kilometers or so. We probably would have made it, but it would have been dark by the time we got there. But we found a nice little flat spot we're gonna pat down. We're tucked away out of the wind. This should be nice. Someone's just waiting patiently for us to set up his bed. Right, buddy? You're all set, buddy. Wow. Yeah, we made a really good call not camping at the summit. Even just being exposed like this here, just checking out the view, it just cuts right through your clothes. But camp's all set up and we still got a little daylight left.
And we're the only ones up here.
Not overly surprised by that.
It's a Monday in January.
Cheers
Just
to that.
crazy people.
Yeah. So this is what happens when Diesel's just had enough and it's time to go in the tent. He'll slowly start walking away back towards the tent and kind of just glance back at us every now and again with such judgment in his eyes.
It's like, take a hint, parents.
And just pull on our heartstrings until we let him back in. Not that we're not letting him in the tent. We've let him in the tent to go lie down, but every time we go out, he needs to be with us. So
yeah, I even zipped it up so he could lay down in there, and he barked to come out. So I know he just wants to be with us, but in any camping adventure, he waits till we have our dinner so he can get any scraps, and then he's like, okay, I'm gonna go to bed now.
And then his work is done.
Yeah, so I think he's just kind of confused because he's like, oh, I've had my supper, so why haven't you people eaten yet?
Yeah. Okay, buddy, we're coming.
Tent time. First one on the left. You can't miss it. We have a path and everything. Welcome to our crib. Come on in. This is our space. So lately, my contact lenses and the solution have been freezing overnight in the van. So I'm gonna actually just keep my contacts case and everything in my jacket because we don't really have heat in the morning to defrost the situation. So here's to hoping they don't freeze because if you are someone who wears glasses or contact lenses, you know how important these things are. So on the menu tonight, we have a mushroom fettuccine alfredo, and we do have wraps.
And Cliff Bars.
And oatmeal.
We're pretty much just gonna eat all night.
An apple and an orange.
It's still really early. Like what is it, 6 o'clock?
I don't know, maybe if that.
The sun,
it's just set.
it's just a glow in the sky, yeah. The sun is behind the mountains. And so winter camping, like it is a lot of fun. Obviously, like that's why we're out here, but once the sun goes down, your whole idea is to just hunker down and stay warm. So
Gosh,
that's what we're gonna do.
can't.
For those of you that don't know what the Appalachian Trail is, it's a over 2,000 mile footpath all the way from Springer Mountain in Georgia up to, I believe, Mount Katahdin in Maine. Over 2,000 miles of this footpath all along the eastern side of America. The West Coast has the PCT, the East Coast essentially has the AT, the Appalachian Trail. People come from all over the place to hike this trail, and it takes a good 6 months to get from the southern terminus all the way to the northern terminus. And it's a lot of people coming from all over the country, all over the world, to find themselves, to take on a challenge, to go on an expedition. And before Len and I met, I was actually contemplating, I was about to do the PCT, which is on the West Coast. Again, that one's 5 to 6 months where you have to put your life towards essentially hiking every single day. And we've spoke to each other, and I think we are gonna eventually one day we're gonna tackle that together. But it's gonna be a time where, not to be morbid or anything, but when we don't have Diesel, and obviously he's getting older, but he's still got lots of time left, so we spend as much time as we can doing stuff with him. And then when that time comes and we can take 5 months together, we'll go do that. But it's just really cool to just be on here, even for a few miles, just to say you were on the Appalachian Trail. It's a cool feeling, just for all those years, hearing stories of people that did the whole thing and just, came out a different person afterwards. Yeah, let's do this. We'll stop yapping for a little bit.
So,
Hey, you got to take the pack out.
yeah, I always forget the pack. Sorry.
Jeez.
We would have figured it out eventually.
Yeah, when we're eating poison. I think it's a given all our bear friends are sleeping at this time of year, so we can be a little more lenient with eating in a tent. What a nice day. I'm all for the chilly, sunny days as opposed to the warm, rainy ones. Attaboy. Clean up the dishes. Meal number 2?
Meal number 2. The wraps are so cold, they're tearing. So.
Just squish it in a ball, I'll still eat it.
I don't know what to say.
That's good.
Good luck. Dessert? Still pretty hard.
Don't break any teeth. Well, that wind is starting to cut through a little bit. My feet are getting cold. So we're going to finish off dessert here. And then probably get in the sleeping bags. Okay. Here goes our routine game of Tetris. But first, got a whole whack of these guys.
Thanks, Mom.
Yes, thanks, Mom. Excellent Christmas, excellent stocking stuffer, and excellent pocket stuffer. I think I'm going to put these in my socks, one in my chest pocket here, and then one by my back, just because my sleeping bag is not necessarily meant for winter camping, but I'll survive. Wind really picked up outside. Diesel's got a big wool blanket that we brought for him, but he always kind of just mats it together and then lies on top of it instead of just having it over top of his body. He seems pretty content right now.
My hands are stuck.
There you go, now you're good.
Everything's all good. My thumbs are up.
All right, folks. Good night.
Oh,
We survived.
we did it.
We survived.
Good job.
Yeah, I won't say that was my most comfortable camping experience. This wind, if you can hear it in the microphone, just kept the entire night, all through the night, and just wouldn't stop. And I put snow around the sides of the tent, so not as much cold air would come through, but eventually it just all started coming through. And I could feel every time a huge gust of wind would go, every time a huge gust of wind would come through, just like that one, you could feel all the heat that we would have, all the built up body heat just escape with that gust of wind. But we made it. Morning, bud. You ready for breakfast? You hungry, boy? You hungry? All right, let's go get your food. Come on. We got it. We got it.
Doesn't all fit in there.
So for our morning stroll, warming up the legs, getting everything moving again after being in a tent for probably 12 hours. Just walking up this trail, and I couldn't help but notice the resemblance to the Bruce Trail, which is what we have pretty much right in our backyard growing up in southern Ontario. It follows all the way from Queenston Heights in Niagara and then goes all the way to Tobermory on the Bruce Peninsula. 900 kilometers, so a lot smaller than obviously the Appalachian Trail, and of course the Niagara Escarpment. Not as large of scale as the Appalachian Mountains, but still a lot of the same similarities, the trees, the snow this time of year, and all the leaves are off the trees this time of year, so everything kind of just looks dead, but still really nice. Just gonna get the blood pumping a little bit, head back and make some coffee before we go down. I don't think we're gonna stick around too long just because it is cold. Waiting for the snow to melt, and then we can have our coffee. Well, the digits are starting to warm up a little bit again. I think we're gonna wolf down a quick bowl of oatmeal and then pack up camp and start heading back down to the van. Should we just walk to Maine? Do you want to just keep going?
I mean, we've already started. Just send in a quick request to get some hot pads or hot hands.
Yeah, that's a necessity. Give you guys a new perspective for the hike down. This is what Diesel sees.
Diesel cam.
Hey, help! Get out! I'm really glad we decided not to camp here at the summit last night. That would have been pretty miserable. Epic view, but definitely not a spot to set up a tent, especially with that wind. Yeah, it wouldn't have been good. Probably would have had to relocate in the middle of the night. Oh wow, so nice. You can see down where the van's parked. What a good time. Just being in the cold, exposing yourself to the elements. It's good. Well, after coming off the trail yesterday, we decided to get some driving in. So we are in Morrisburg. We're in West Virginia right now, and I feel like all the towns that we've gone through have ended in burg. So we're in one of the burgs here in West Virginia, and we slept at a real nice establishment last night, the Cracker Barrel. And we've been doing a lot of sleeping at Cracker Barrels as we've made our way through the eastern states here. Walmart, you know, used to have our back. We used to be able to camp there, all of us travelers, but Cracker Barrel still has our back, which is good. So other than the sounds of the interstate right behind us, we still slept really well, and it was warm as opposed to being in the tent and listening to that howling wind all night. It was still so cool just to say we were on the Appalachian Trail and got to spend a night out there. So we're really glad we got to do that.
I think we're really glad that we also got to explore some new states as well along the way.
Yeah.
A little road trip in January, and like Kyle said, it definitely has warmed up over the last few days, which has been really nice. And just a nice little dose of each state and more reason to come back and adventure a bit more and explore these beautiful places.
Lots happening in the next few months that we can't wait to bring you guys along with us. So if you made it to this point in the video, be sure to subscribe, follow along in real time. Every time we put a video out, you'll get updated right away. And that's really what helps keep this channel going, is your subscription. And if people didn't watch, we wouldn't have a channel here. So thank you guys again for coming along with us for another adventure. Have a great day, and we'll see you down the road.